thanks. Now the Republican road to the White House and a critical way station for those seeking the GOP nomination. This is CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference. Live pictures, the annual gathering of movers and shakers in the conservative movement. And 3 of the 4 candidates are going to speak today, trying to win that conservative support in the race that right now is too close to call. Rick Santorum, fresh off 3 big victories this week. He's going to speak later this hour. We're going to carry that live. The Mitt Romney is trying to regain his momentum. One source close to the campaign telling us he's going to give a, quote, major speech. That's at 12:55 Eastern. And then Newt Gingrich will speak just after that, about 4 o'clock Eastern time. And we're going to take a closer look at what the candidates need to say and what conservatives want to hear. Wolf Blitzer is in our Washington bureau. Jim Acosta is at the conference. Ron Bonjean shares his expertise as a Republican strategist. Wolf, why don't we go ahead and start with you and focus on Santorum, his speech coming up this hour. What do you expect him to say?
I expect him to really try to explain why he would be a better president of the United States than the current president of the United States, President Obama. I think he's going to focus in a lot on why he, disagrees with the president on so many issues. He's going to try to differentiate where he stands with the president. There will be, I suspect, also some effort on his part to show why he is a better Republican conservative than Newt Gingrich or Mitt Romney, for that matter. Ron Paul is basically not even attending the CPAC conference. I spoke with him yesterday, so he's not even here. I don't think there's going to be much attention on Ron Paul from Rick Santorum right now. There probably will be some specific differences that he'll underscore between himself and Newt Gingrich and Mitt Romney. But I think most of the speech will focus in some real red meat as to why he thinks the president should not get a second term and why he should be the Republican nominee.
All right, Wolf, after his 3 big primary wins on Tuesday, more than $1 million poured in donation-wise, but that's still so small compared to Mitt Romney. What do you think? Can he survive this way?
Look, he didn't have much money in Iowa, and he won in Iowa. He worked really hard. And after Florida, Nevada, a lot of people were assuming that it was almost toast for Rick Santorum. But then again, this week he had 3 stunning wins, a clean sweep on Tuesday, including in Colorado, which the Mitt Romney folks thought that they would win pretty decisively. He did amazingly well there 4 years ago. So you got to give Rick Santorum a lot of credit. He's fought back. He's not giving up. He's not dropping out. Even when Newt Gingrich was doing really, really well after South Carolina, there was an enormous amount of pressure on Rick Santorum to drop out of this contest like Rick Perry did or Michelle Bachmann did or Herman Cain did. There was a lot of pressure on him to do so. He didn't do so, and he's done really well. So he's in it. I suspect all 4 of these candidates are going to stay in this race for some time. This could go on, Kira, and on and on.
Yeah. And something else that's going on and on and on. Republicans looking for a Romney alternative. We've talked so much about that. Is he it?
He might be. Newt Gingrich's numbers have gone down lately. He did well in a southern state, South Carolina, as we all know. He's really not done well in other states, but he expects to do well on Super Tuesday, which is March 6th. There'll be about a dozen contests, including several southern contests. That he's really assuming he's going to do well so that he'll be able to continue after March 6th. Later this month, this Saturday, tomorrow, we got the Maine caucuses. Either Romney will do well or Ron Paul. Ron Paul has spent some time in Maine, so we'll see what happens tomorrow night in Maine. They've been doing these caucuses now for almost 2 weeks, but it all wraps up tomorrow night. We'll get the results of Maine. And then later in the month, at the end of the month, Arizona and Michigan. Now, everybody assumes Romney will do well in Arizona, which has a significant Mormon population. He did well there 4 years ago. They all assume he'll do well in Michigan. His father was the governor there. He was born there. He'll probably do well there. But you know what? Rick Santorum in Michigan, if he surprises Mitt Romney in Michigan, and if he were to do in Michigan what he did in Colorado, that would be a huge, huge upset and a major development.
Wolf Blitzer, we'll see in a little bit when Rick Santorum starts speaking. All right, let's go ahead and focus on Romney and Gingrich, who also speak later today. Jim Acosta, you're there at CPAC. What are we expecting in Romney's so-called major speech that one source is touting?
Well, Kira, I think it's safe to say Rick Santorum probably ought to watch his back coming into CPAC. He's going to be speaking here in just a few moments because Mitt Romney is going right after the former Pennsylvania senator. Just consider the email that was just sent out this morning to reporters covering this campaign. It has a banner at the top that says Rick went to Washington and never came back. This has been a steady message coming from the Romney campaign over the last several days, going after his spending record in Washington, going after his support of congressional earmarks, pet projects, and all of those different districts all over the country. Rick Santorum has defended those earmarks. He did so yesterday down in a speech in Oklahoma, and I expect he will do so again today. He'll probably defend that spending record as well, but I would think we're going to hear a pretty aggressive tone coming from Mitt Romney at his speech around midday, going after Rick Santorum's spending record. The pressure is on Mitt Romney at this point, and I think they know that, Kira. After what happened on Tuesday night, this was something they didn't expect, that Santorum trifecta in all three of those contests, and they have to try to get some sort of momentum back, but that, of course, means going after Senator Santorum. That is the reason why the former Pennsylvania senator said yesterday in Oklahoma that he feels like Romney's attack dogs are coming after them. And of course they are, Kira.
And Gingrich hasn't had reason to celebrate since South Carolina, needs to regain his footing. What's his strategy at CPAC and beyond?
Well, you know, these sorts of events are really, you know, Newt Gingrich's bread and butter. I mean, he thrives on this kind of audience. He thrives, as we saw during the debates, when there's a loud, raucous, conservative crowd. That really works for Newt Gingrich, and I think he'll tap into that today, try to exploit some of that today, just in the way that we heard from Mike Huckabee. He was just speaking to this crowd a few moments ago, and it was interesting to listen to Mike Huckabee because he was sort of, you know, addressing some of the conservative angst over Mitt Romney and the state of this race right now. Mike Huckabee telling this crowd, mirror, mirror on the wall. You know, he said, I'm not saying mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most conservative of them all. And I talked to Mike Huckabee just a few moments ago before we did this live shot here, and I asked him, are you concerned about the way this race is shaping up right now and how these candidates aren't really breaking through? Nobody's really breaking through. He said, well, I think any of them will do a better job than Barack Obama. So there's a lot of conservative red meat being thrown at this audience today, and I imagine that Newt Gingrich will be bringing plenty of it later on this afternoon, Kira.
Jim Acosta will be following it all. CPAC is talking debt, taxes, religion, and Second Amendment rights, too. But conservatives also want to have fun. Senator Mitch McConnell says so.
I always love coming to CPAC. And you probably know why. Conservatives are just simply more fun than liberals. Now, there's a reason for that, by the way. It's because we're always right.
Ron Bonjean is a Republican strategist. Ron, Mitch McConnell says it's fun, but our contributor Eric Erickson blogs that in his 7 trips to CPAC, the crowd this time is the least excited that he's seen. Why would that be?
Well, I think it's because we don't have a coalescing figure yet as a front runner in the race. They want to see someone step it up and to get the support that they need, that a candidate needs to take on Barack Obama, and they feel like they have yet to see that. And that's why there's a lot of pressure on Rick Santorum and especially Mitt Romney to deliver today. Republicans want to see them fired up. They want to see who has the right stuff to take on President Obama. Right now, people think, geez, it's probably going to be Mitt Romney, but they want to be convinced of that. And this is the time for Romney to do that.
Well, Santorum, though, coming up this hour, everybody's talking about his 3-state sweep. Is he the guy that can jazz it up there?
Well, he certainly will. He certainly will jazz up the crowd. There's no question about that. And he's going to remind voters why he was so successful in those states. I think that, you know, social conservatives like him already. I don't think there's a lot of work he has to do there. But he's just going to keep the momentum going, you know, by taking it to President Obama during his speech. At least that's what we've been told he's going to say. Mitt Romney is going to really take it after Rick Santorum, and I think that's probably a smart strategy. At the same time, though, he's going to have to remind voters why he's a conservative. That's going to be huge for him. Everyone knows he can negative campaign, but it's going to be key that he says, hey, I'm a conservative, and here's why.
Final question. What is it about Santorum that is resonating with voters right now, the way it is?
Well, there is a collection of events that have happened. I mean, you have this contraceptive decision on Catholics that have come out of the White House that really fueled right into Santorum's social conservatism. in addition, he showed up in states that other candidates didn't, like Missouri and Minnesota, and really got a lot of earned media coverage off of it when the others didn't really care about it because it didn't matter. Now is the time for Santorum, though, to take advantage of that and figure out a strategy in going into these other states where they have plurality of delegates to try to start amassing those.
Ron Bonjean, thanks so much.
Thank you.
And stay with us. Rick Santorum scheduled to speak 10:25 Eastern Time. We will bring it to you live.
16 of.
Okay, team. After age 40, we can start losing muscle. 8% every 10 years. Wow. But you can help fight muscle loss with exercise and ensure muscle health. I've got Revigor.
What's Revigor?
It's the amino acid metabolite HMB to help rebuild muscle and strength naturally lost over time.
Ensure Muscle Health has Revigor and protein to help protect, preserve, and promote muscle health.
Keeps you from getting soft. Ensure nutrition in charge.
This was how my day began. A little bird told me about a band. An old man shared some fish stories. Ooh, my turn. She was in Paris, but we talked for hours. Everyone else buzzed about the band.